What up, YouTube? It's your boy, Anime Specialist. So, it was a pretty good episode of One Piece. I thought it would be better, but let's get right to it. A lot happened in this episode, but at the same time, there wasn't a lot to talk about. But I will talk about what happened in last week's episode and this week's episode in the same video, so there's more to talk about. The craziest thing that happened, in my opinion, is Nami kind of controlling Big Mom's cloud by giving it some cloud of her weapons. So I don't know what that means. Maybe she's gonna be able to control it later in the series, and it will be one of her weapons. So I don't know, man, because this cloud is pretty powerful. So if Nami can actually control it and use it as a weapon against her enemies, it's gonna be she's gonna become really strong. But there's something that Luffy said that was pretty interesting. When Big Mom attacked them in last week's episode, he said that the attack resembled them of the Elbaf giants that they encountered before the time skip. So that was pretty interesting. I don't know how Big Mom learned an attack of a giant. I know she's lived with giants, but I don't know how she learned it. So that was pretty interesting. But Big Mom was actually chasing them all episode long, so I won't be talking about what happened between them in this episode because it's the same thing that happened in last week's episode. But there's something pretty interesting that happened with Pudding. She catched up with Beji and her sister, and she asked them to help her make the wedding cake to stop Big Mom. But the reason that Pudding wants to stop Big Mom isn't to save the island, and it isn't to save the people. It's actually to save Sanji and the Straw Hats, because after what happened with Sanji at the wedding, when Sanji said that she was beautiful, that she had a beautiful eye, she wants to save him, and she basically loves him, you know. So that's the reason why she wants to stop Big Mom, to save Sanji and the Straw Hats. It was kind of predictable, but because of what she said in last week's episode, I thought maybe she was gonna hurt Sanji. But also, she's a good actress. Like she said in previous episodes, she's a good actress, so maybe she was gonna do it. But yeah, man, it's pretty interesting. I don't know what's gonna happen between Pudding and Sanji. We'll see in the next few episodes. But yeah, I like her. I like the character development of Pudding. She was miserable. She was doing everything that Big Mom told her to do, and now she's just choosing by herself what she wants to do. So that's really interesting. Let me know what you thought about this week's episode in the comments down below. I think it was a 7 out of 10 because it was kind of the same thing that happened in last week's episode. Big Mom was chasing the Straw Hats. We saw the Vinsmoke fight the Big Mom pirates. It was the same thing that happened in last week's episode, so it was a bit repetitive. But it looks like next week's episode is going to be way better. We're going to get some fighting with the Straw Hats, so I'm hyped for this episode. I do One Piece reviews every Saturday night, so subscribe for that. And I do anime related content every single week, so subscribe for that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Anime Specialist out. Peace.